What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, we are going over mana as we have started to get some structure formation. Now, you guys know, in the last video, whenever the price was sitting, right around these levels, I was basically just saying, look, I think right now buying would definitely put yourself at risk. I think that we would definitely like to wait to see some structure start to form before just aping in, because we don't want to buy high and then sell low. Of course, that's never fun. So with that being said, let's kind of talk about the structure that we're seeing now, how I'm expecting this to play out, and what we can expect over the next 24 to 48 hours. As you guys know, mana has been absolutely blowing up on my channel recently, and so with that, whenever we get such high volume on the channel as well as such volatility from a crypto, I try to update you guys as much as I possibly can. And so you can definitely start to expect shorter videos from me on mana, but much more frequent, maybe even daily for the time being. So with that being said, of course, let's get into today's. So what we are seeing from mana at the moment is this ascending wedge. Now let's go ahead and let's get this started in saying, generally speaking, these break out to the downside. Now that's not me saying that it's going to crash. I mean, it could easily just come down to, $3.80, find some support on top of this previous level of resistance and continue upwards. But generally speaking, these are going to break out to the downside. And so with that, we need to start gauging, okay, well, what can we expect and what are we looking for? Personally speaking, if I was going to be buying mana right now, I would not buy it until it breaks out of here. Now, realistically, there is the potential for this thing to go all the way up to $4 and who knows, $4.50 to $4.60 over the next few days before it breaks out to the downside. But I am under the belief that we will see the breakout to the downside eventually. And as that happens, I would rather be buying it as it breaks out to the downside and find some support, whether that be at $4, whether that be at $4.15. Maybe even if I'm buying it a little bit higher than I would right now, I'd say $4 and again, 15 cents, I would feel much more secure as it finds some support, having broken out of a bearish pattern. So what I'm looking for right now is this break of trend. I'm looking for this break of this ascending wedge, as it'll let me know, all right, what are we expecting next? So let me tell you how I'm going to play it in both directions, what I'm expecting to happen, and how soon I think it's all going to come together. Well, if we do go ahead and we look on our 4-hour MACD, it does seem as if we're going to get some type of bearish cross happening here. Now, the fact that we are looking at a possible bearish cross forming as the price is teetering right at the edge of a bearish pattern tells me that we may have one more attempt to try to get, regain support and get out of here. But realistically, it seems as if we are going to see that breakout to the downside. Now, that may not come immediately. This may be tomorrow, because if we look at the hourly charts, it looks like we're going to get a bullish cross. So what this tells me is that if the price does continue upwards just a little bit, back towards 415 to 420, that is going to be its last attempt to get out the top side of this wedge. If it fails this final attempt to get out the top side of this wedge on the next bounce, if it bounces, I'm not saying it for sure will, but if it bounces, this is the last try. If you start to see the price struggling towards our retracement zone, is 420 to maybe 425 zone, starting to come back, do expect that fall down just barely out of this wedge will be on the way. Now, of course, if it manages to break out to the top side, it comes back down and holds out here, yeah, we'll definitely look for an entry, and I'll update you guys as soon as that happens. But that is the less likely of the two options whenever we do see a rising wedge. And so with that being said, what I would be looking for right now is how do we interact over the next 24 hours with this ascending wedge. That's all that matters. If we break out to the downside, I would be looking for some support establishment and to some continuation. If we break out to the top side, I would definitely be looking for support establishment. I would not be aping in, because there is a strong likelihood that we do see a fake out to a breakout. Okay, so overall, I would definitely be playing this pretty safe. I wouldn't be going super cash heavy on whatever position you do open, because realistically, this pattern that we're keeping track of right now, it's short term. It's only forming on the hourlies. If we look at the dailies, you can't even really identify it yet. Let's go ahead and do this. You can barely even identify it. And realistically, when we have patterns that are short term, that's whenever we put in less money. I put in a proportionate amount of money to however big the pattern that I'm trading is, okay? So if we're getting a very short-term structure, I'm putting in just small amounts of money, because realistically, we will eventually see the large-term structure formation, such as this, and that's whenever we can increase those long-term positions, or that's when we can start long-term positions, or of course, something of that nature. So with that being said, what I would keep a very, very, very close eye on right now is, do we start to work our way back out of this ascending wedge to the top side. If we're unable to, do expect the breakout to the downside. Maybe we come down. Boom, we hit this 100 EMA on the hourly charts. Bam, and then we continue upwards. That support establishment is what we will identify in the next video, but until then, you need to keep a close eye on this ascending wedge, as it's going to tell you everything that you need to know on when to get in or when to not get in. So just as a little bit of a recap, again, I would not really be buying in these levels if I'm trying to short to midterm it. If you're long on this thing and you think there's long-term potential as I do, you can really buy at any given point, because I'm under the belief that Mana still has room to grow in the long term no matter what. But if you're looking for great entries in the short and midterm, I definitely would hold this out. I would wait. I would give it a little while, let this pattern play out, see if we can get this break to the downside and support establishment, and then boom, then we can get an even better entry without the risk of seeing some type of major pullback the moment we buy. Okay, so with that being said, definitely keep an eye out on this. I will keep you guys as up to date as I possibly can as this thing does form, as these structures and patterns and indicators do tell me things. I will be the first one to let you guys know what all we are seeing. And of course, all you have to do is just like this video so more people see it, and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And it's that easy. It's that easy for you to stay as up to date as possible with Mana. And so, of course, I would appreciate it if you can do that. And I will see you all next time. Peace.